Welcome back, Longhorn fans. 41st Acre here with you, Brett, Justin, Ben. We are unfiltered, a little biased, 100% truthful. Looking forward to discussing Texas versus Vanderbilt this week. Texas currently 19-point favorite. The over-under set at 52 and a half. We got 3:15 p.m. Central Time kickoff in Nashville. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, boys.
That's accurate.
Vanderbilt already has a signature win. They believe they're competing for an SEC championship or the playoff, as is Texas still, even with the one loss. Little history on this rivalry. We'll see if it becomes one. Vanderbilt's winning 3-8-1, and Vanderbilt won the last meeting in 1928. Um, Texas coming off a loss to Georgia, 30-15, and Vanderbilt coming off a win at probably the worst or second to worst team in FBS, Ball State. They won 24-14. By the way, Ball State beat the worst team in FBS. So that's why I say they're probably the second worst team. Um, so um, let's go jump right into initial thoughts. Brett.
Um, the initial thoughts on the matchup feels like it's going to be a slow game. I think that when Vanderbilt wins, they manage time of possession. I think that's what they did against Alabama. You sit there and you run it 3 yards at a time, 3 yards at a time, 3 yards at a time, maybe tempt the defense over the top, and then you move the chains and you keep moving. And you just try to maintain possession until you get to that final possession and try to kick the game-winning field goal or run the clock out, however the game goes. So, for me, the Longhorns in this one, obviously, this is a major rebound game for us. Everyone's going to be interested to see what Quinn's going to do, but just overall, we need to be very efficient with our offensive possessions. Can't give the ball right back on three and outs. Certainly cannot turn the ball over. Um, the offense, Quinn, is going to be an overall theme for I think today, and Saturday. But you would like for the offense to use this as a game to kind of brush the Georgia game under the rug and just be done with that. Knock the rust off, get the jitters out, use it as a slump buster is what we'd say in baseball, right? Use this game as your cleanup game and get that under you. And so you just want to see the offense be the offense. We know what the offense can be. We know what Quinn can be. That's what you want to see in this one.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Would love to see it. I'm still super hesitant after going back and watching any replay and just listening to some of the guys out there talk about it. I am not 100% sure what to expect out of this game right now. I don't know if my head's spinning from just what I watched or if I'm just still reeling from actually being there and just like trying to put together exactly what I saw. But I think I actually feel worse now than I did like when we did the recap of Georgia, oddly enough. I hope that they can go in there and play like the Texas we saw for the first 6 games of the season. But man, I right now my gut is maybe just not there, unfortunately. But I'm with you. If they can just play good, sound football, keep the penalties down, and just beat Vandy the way that they're favored to do, that'd be great to see. But I just haven't seen, read, or heard anything, and just don't feel it right now. But maybe you guys can cheer me up, all right?
Yeah, I want to cheer you up a little bit, but I'll add this one other thought because I just had it while you were talking there. This game feels like Texas is either going to blow out Vanderbilt or is going to lose in a close game.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that we had the emotional fortitude after last weekend to be able to play another close game and win and come out successful.
Yep.
So, yeah, call that a prediction if you will, but
Right.
it's just how it feels. We need to take care of business,
They
guys.
just need to like just go in and just go, okay, yeah, we can still do this. All right, it's one bad game, it's one hiccup, just like OU was last year. There's one bad game. The difference between last year losing to OU the way we did is that Quinn and the offense looked good, right? And at no
True.
point did the offense look good last week. And it makes me go, what the hell did I just watch? Like it was the worst offensive game they've ever played with Sark at the helm.
Yeah.
Even worse than Arkansas a couple years ago. worse than that. So sorry.
Well, you guys got my head spinning now. My mind. Okay. Bes besides Alcorn State, who Vandy destroyed, they seem to play up or down to their competition. They played down to Ball State. They were down 7-0 early. They play Virginia Tech tight in that opener. Um, I think Missouri was a tight game, and obviously the Alabama win. They already have a signature win, so they're not like playing for, oh, we're gonna beat Texas and just, they're playing for something still. And so I think that brings something a little different into this game than maybe what we would have predicted looking at, the schedule. We already looked at the schedule and thought it was a trap game, and we definitely know it is a trap game because they've already done it. They've already shown they can beat um, a
Number
top
one team.
SEC team,
Yeah.
um, which, just like Alabama, we should be better at every single position and position group than Vanderbilt.
Hmm.
I think the difference is Diego Pavia has one turnover all season, takes care of the football. Um,
He's a gamer.
he's a gamer. So I think that's where my initial thoughts are, is just if we play like that, don't turn the ball over, be efficient, Texas wins this game. If you're turning the ball over, if like we said, Mississippi State and Vanderbilt kind of have the same sort of offensive mindset. They want to control the time possession, minimize your opportunities. Um, I don't remember did we got a turnover against Mississippi State. Um,
Yes, I think we had one.
yeah. So anyway, that's my initial thoughts. It's going to be Mississippi State like, um, and so we're going to take advantage of our opportunities, limit our turnovers. Um, so anyway,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
I'm with you.
yes, yeah, Joe, you're with me.
Yeah. Well, I was only going to kind of add to that and say, like, because I think this is kind of the next topic we're going to talk about was the time of possession thing is huge. I think Vanderbilt's top 10 in the nation. I think they're top 10 in the nation in third down and fourth down conversion. Um, they hold them the ball, they run the ball, they, average whatever, 3.5, 4 yards a run. But that's the exact way to kill a very potent Texas offense when it's running on all cylinders, right? But when Quinn, much like the last 2 weeks, isn't, the offense looks horrible. The deep ball doesn't get where it needs to go. The defenders should probably play underneath as opposed to over the top, and they'll probably come away with a couple of picks pretty easily because I don't know if Quinn has the body strength, arm strength, mentality, whatever it is, to throw the ball accurately and on time more than 20 yards down the field. Hell, even some of the like off to the side throws that he's so good at running those like 10-yard outs or whatever it is. He would just bullet them right where they need to be. Those looked horrible after rewatching the game against Georgia. So if they don't start fast, meaning Texas doesn't start fast, and they let Vanderbilt do what they're going to do, I mean, you're going to need another world-class game from the defense, which Brett, you and I talked about. Like the defense didn't play poorly. They just got put in horrible situations last week. They're going to need to play that. And I think that they can playing against an undermanned and undersized um, Vanderbilt team, but the offense can't keep putting them in that situation. And if they do, it's just going to be a long day. But we could try to be more positive now. That's fine.
Well, what are you most worried about? Justin, you keep going. You've already said a few
Yeah.
things there. Finish
Yeah.
that topic, then we'll go to Brett.
Yeah. Yeah. I honestly, like I said, ball possession. Can we win first down? If we win first down, both on offense and defense, then I think you're going to see a good day. Like, easily cover the spread. I mean, probably win by, 25, 30 points, right? If you can win on first down, they got like a military style or a military academy style offense where they're going to run triple option and a bunch of quarterback run, inside zone, and a lot of different like intricate methods and changeups and probably some pop passes to their tight end, who's their leading receiver, which is insane, but that's the way they run. But their run game is so different and exotic than what most of the things you'll see on a day-to-day, especially in the SEC, that if we're not ready to play sound football and do your job, then they're going to get beat up. I don't know if we need to worry so much about the deep ball, much like our secondary played so well last week. I don't think we need to worry about that against Vanderbilt. Not that they won't try it, but I think that we've all seen that our secondary is next level elite. So I'm just, if our run game is not ready to just like they're going to get punched in the mouth probably at some point. They got to respond. And the defense did everything they could last week. I just don't know if they're ready to do it 2 weeks in a row. That's what the SEC schedule is all about. So, yeah, initial thoughts are win first down. You win first down, whatever, over 50, 55, maybe 57% of the time, you'll win this game. The next thing I'm relatively worried about is the safety rotation. I know I just said our secondary is playing top level, but with Makuba being out, which is a new name to that injury list, that safety rotation is a little worrisome because you're going to be down to a third string safety, maybe potentially some Barron playing back there, but maybe it's that time for Jade to show why he is the most versatile DB in the nation and, get to the Thorpe Award finalist, get invited to New York and all that jazz. But Brett, wanted to hear your thoughts more on kind of, I know you want to talk about safety some.
Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. We have our defensive backs have been one of the strengths of our entire team, not just the defense. And a lot of that is just sound depth, not just depth, but sound depth at every position. At linebacker, you have guys like Lafau and Binda and Blackwell coming in and playing and giving good reps. You've got at edge, you've got 100 guys. It seems like they're all very good. And then defensive back, similarly, you've got Jade and Muhammad on the outside, but then you can bring Gavin Holmes in to play. There's also that transfer we haven't talked a lot about. I think he came from like San Jose State. He's pretty good. And then at safety, we've had a full-on safety rotation, something we haven't had in a long time at safety. And now we've taken out two of the big pieces of that rotation, right? And so now you're down to Michael Taft, who isn't much of a pass coverage type of guy. To me, he's more of a run fit safety, which is great.
Mhm.
And he's really good. I think he led the team. Justin, I think you said he led the team in tackles last
Tackles
week,
last week.
right?
Yep. Which is one of the things that we talked about. If a safety's leading your team in tackling, probably
Problem.
means you're not winning the game.
So, so we've got Taft. He seems to be healthy. And then after that, Derek Williams has been out, and now he's out for the season. After the Oklahoma game. And now, Andrew McCubba was playing kind of an all-American type season so far. Had an unbelievable game against Michigan, had a good game against OU, and had been playing just great all season. And now he looks like he's going to be out for extended time. And so you're really answering Jelani McDonald's the next guy up. You got JJR in there, might be playing, then Jade Barron. But if you take Jade Barron out of the corner, okay, well, what do how do you support that backup? You put Gavin Holmes in, you move Jalen Gilbo around. I don't know.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of questions there. And the thing with this Vanderbilt team, like one of you guys mentioned it, but Eli Stowers is their leading wide receiver, who's a tight end. And who typically matches up with a tight end is your safeties, right?
Mhm.
We already said Michael Taft's not a great pass coverage guy. I would say our best two safeties at pass coverage were certainly Derek Williams and Andrew McCubba.
Mhm.
And McCubba had that unbelievable interception last week on just a good read, right? So you're missing your two, pass coverage safeties. You've got a really good tight end. I mean, that's something to be very worried about.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. That tight end could be issues. I don't think he's any, Loveland like what we saw from Michigan. But when your tight end is your leading receiver, I mean, that shows you just the like safety blanket style player that he is. So it's definitely something to worry about with the lack of safety depth we'll have right now.
That and he's an ex-Aggie from Denton Guyer.
Ah, jeez, he wants to play against Texas. He wants to play against Texas. He's one
Yeah,
of the
that's
smart
one
ones
of
though.
those
That's why he
things
went to
Ben likes to
Vandy.
get scared about. Uh,
I'm worried about third down. Last week, Texas was horrible on third down.
right.
And what worries me about Pavia is his ability to kind of Houdini his way to first downs. Um, I think Texas again, we should be getting pressure, but do we, contain? Does he get out, extend plays? So his scrambling worries me. Um, just limited opportunities. So how does our QB play with limited opportunities? It's going to have to be a lot better than it was last week. Obviously, there was very little time last week. They didn't know who was coming and when and where, and they looked silly. So we need the offensive line to play a lot better. I think that'll have an impact on how well Ewers or Arch plays if he gets in the game at all. Um, but yeah, I think Texas has to do a lot better on third down. Like you said, Justin, having successful first downs um, is sometimes a key to that. I feel like throughout the season, you know, we're trying to hit these home runs on first down, and then you get 1 yard rush on second down, and next thing you know, it's third and long. So I think I'd like to see Texas try to establish the run on first down, or one of those extension of the running games, bubble screens, RPOs, high percentage plays that get you 3, 4, 5 yards, and then you could take a deep shot on second down,
Hmm.
knowing you have a convertible third down. So that's something I'd like to see from Sark is play calling, and that's what I'm worried about. And I'd like to see some change is play calling that gets this team into manageable third down scenarios.
Yeah. And execution. I
Yeah.
mean, Quinn can't make the throw, can't block the offensive line can't make the run block, and Weissman's got nowhere to go. I mean, what are you going to do?
All right. Confidence. Uh, I'm confident in the Texas defense, even with the injuries. I think last week was like you said, you give Georgia starting field position on the 30-yard line. They're going to score points eventually. I thought the defense played really well. I think still only one passing touchdown allowed all season, and that was to Michigan kind of in garbage time. That game was well in hand. So Texas defense, I think I'm confident about it. I think they can hold Vanderbilt. It's probably going to, again, like Mississippi State, I think there's going to be a lot of bending, but not a lot of breaking. So I think, I expect Vanderbilt to win time of possession. I expect them to have over 100 rushing yards, but I expect Texas defense to shut them down in the red zone. Um, Brett, what are you most confident about?
I'll be a little more specific on the defensive side. I just think our defensive line has played really well, and this is an option-based offense that we're playing against, right? So on the handoff, you got quarterback containment or running back containment for each one of your edges and your linebackers, right? Each one of them has a man, each one of them has a gap. As long as you play sound fundamentals, these guys aren't athletic enough to exploit you on athleticism. It's going to be on technique and minding your gaps. And uh, and so based on what we've seen so far out of this Texas defensive line, I feel like we have played very sound football. There's been, at the beginning of the season, we didn't have a ton of sacks or flashy plays and stuff like that. But one thing that I think everyone on that line does is they play their roles. And our edges have done a really good job setting that containment, and our linebackers are fast. Um, I have a lot of confidence in them being able to contain this power option run game that Vanderbilt likes to go for.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I do. I definitely love the defensive matchup in this game, and no, you mentioned that the defensive line didn't play like maybe up to what we had seen this season. And I was going back just to see kind of obviously we didn't get the real pressures on the QB, but the run stats from Georgia weren't great. It was just that they were put in such a horrible position that like eventually the dam just broke and like the kind of the bigger chunk plays happened, and that's why ETN ended up with 3 touchdowns. So I think they'll do it. They're significantly more talented than Vanderbilt this week. So I definitely see them making a bounce back game on them. And it's a lot easier on the defense to just get mad and go hit somebody, right?
Right.
Um, Guys, I want to be more positive. I don't know why I have not been able to get more positive this week, man. There's just something in my
What have you
gut
been
that's just
listening
not
to?
there.
Like, it's just like the most
I
depressing
know,
you've
right?
ever made me.
Yeah. No, like it's me. Like I just went back and watched, and I just listened to some local radio and like read a few articles and stuff. And I'm just like, dude, and it keeps digging in my head of like I don't think Quinn is there. And like you go listen to his interviews, and he sounds like a whipped dog a little bit. Like it's not the Quinn that I don't know. I know Quinn's not a very like boisterous and elaborate guy or anything, but he just seems like he's now looking over his shoulder. So now when you're quarterback, like what we've talked about, like we want a quarterback that's like you'd rather them be, I mean, not like to say like Pavia, but you want him to be like up and going and ready and like ready to pump the team up. And Quinn's just not that guy. So when he's down and I have something to worry about, maybe an injury, maybe not. Now I'm just like, I think digging myself into a hole about it. So that's where I think my negativity is coming out. Um, Now look, my two things I'm most confident in are going to reflect exactly what I just said. I'm not the most positive right now, and I'm sorry, but maybe it's good balance, right? Maybe I just need to be, um, you know, Texas just needs to come out and do it again for me to get back on board with it. But like I believe in everything Texas has except the quarterback position right now. So I think the under will hit 52 and a half. I don't know how we get there if they're going to control the ball as well as they can and our offense looks as poorly as it has the last 2 weeks. I think the under hits easily. Um, and if Quinn doesn't play well in the first quarter, I think we see Arch. I think they go for the spark and you bring in quarterback run game or whatever the case is. There had to have been a conversation of some type this week where that had to have come up, I would think, if Sark is the coach I believe he is. I want Quinn to be good. I want him to be what he is, what he has been, excuse me, because I think for Texas to go to the playoffs and actually make a run at a championship, they need him to be that guy. But if he's not healthy and he's saying he's healthy, whether it's mentally he's got a block or physically he can't make these throws that we've seen him make throughout his career, then he's not only hurting himself in the NFL draft stock he has, he's hurting the team as well. So I'm confident that Sark will say, Quinn, you're not you. It's Arch time. So I hate to say that, guys. I'm sorry. I believe Texas will win, but I need to see my quarterback play the way that we've all seen him play to feel more to feel the way I used to feel going into the Georgia game. It's
All
I
right.
hate to say, yeah, go for it.
Peeking ahead at the notes, Brett has Quinn being the player of the game. So, Brett, you have the floor now. Respond to this negative Nancy that we invited to this call. We're going to find a new third host
Yeah.
that has some positive energy.
Yeah. What's your wife up to, Justin? Let's
Yeah,
get her on the
she'll come
line.
in here.
But all right. So player of the game, yeah, I've said it before. I'm the Quinn apologist. When it comes to it, we know what Quinn is and what Quinn can be. Right? We might not even know what his full ceiling potential is. I think we saw a glimpse of it at the beginning of that Michigan game, but the Michigan game got so out of hand so quickly. We really didn't need to see it. Again, we haven't been in a shootout to see how Quinn can go back and forth yet this year. Um, and maybe we will, maybe we won't see that. Uh, I'm going to flip the script on what Justin just said and think of it from a positive perspective. I would expect Quinn to be sad and down on himself after the way he played. Uh, I would be like that. I know if I was competing in a sport and I got my ass whooped, that I would also be really hard on myself and down and probably down in the dumps for 24, 48 hours straight. But then what you're hoping for is Monday at practice, something clicked for Quinn, right? Or maybe his offensive line went and grabbed him and said, "Hey, Quinn, that's on us. We didn't give you the confidence that you need to step back in that pocket and feel comfortable. This is on us. We're gonna rectify this now." Um, because if you go back and watch the tape, I mean, golly, Kelvin Banks had his worst game in his entire career. Cam Williams looked terrible on the right side. DJ Campbell looked bad. I mean, Jake Majors and Hayden Connor looked fine, I guess. But when you have three fifths of your Joe Moore award-seeking line play that bad, it's not going to
Mhm.
instill a lot of confidence in your quarterback. So I'm hoping, that we get the Quinn of old. He sat down, he's had time to think and process. I know Sark has pulled him under his wing and said, hey, these are the issues that we had this game. You and I are going to think through this. We're going to talk through the game plan. We're going to work through this, and I hope this offensive line kind of gets back to that that bully
Like the
bodyguard
bravado.
mentality. You know what I'm
Hmm.
talking about? I feel like
Hmm.
that just instills so much confidence in any quarterback that's behind those guys. And I did not see that on Saturday night. I felt like our offensive line got bullied, and they just kind of,
Yep.
hey,
I said,
yeah,
go
we
for
don't
it.
want any of
Sorry.
that. We
Yep.
don't want any of that. Jalen Walker, have him, eat him.
Hmm.
Um, so I do think Quinn's going to respond. I think Quinn's going to respond well. I think he's going to be our player of the game. And I think we're going to win by a lot. I think we're going to take care of the fundamentals to shut them down on their offense. And Quinn's going to be comfortable back there. He's going to have time in the pocket. And we're going to finally see after a two game hiatus, him starting to hit those mid-range throws that he's known for.
Yep.
Over the top of the linebackers, before the safeties. He's going to be spreading it all over the field. We'll talk about stats and bold takes and stuff like that later. But
Yep.
that's my thoughts. That's my thoughts on Quinn.
Yep. Yeah, and it could be, especially if the O-line comes and plays how we've seen them play all year, except
Hmm.
against Georgia. So I feel, again, kind of like we talked about defense, I feel confident in the defense playing well, like y'all talked about. The offensive line should come out ready to absolutely murder people because I think they realize just how badly they played. So if that's the case, then yeah, Quinn could have the time, and I just need Quinn to make the throws at that point. Like he's always been good at playing off script and like, oh, I'll just shuffle over this way and I'll make a throw, right? Like we've loved that about him, right? The off platform throws, et cetera, the arm talent. I just don't see it. That's what I'm most worried about with him. Not that I don't think that he's still that guy, but if he can't make the throw, that's what I'm worried about. The offensive line should go, and they should absolutely run down their throat. If it was me,
Yeah.
like you got to be able to make the run game happen. So I'm with you
Yeah.
there on offensive line.
Player of the game, Justin.
Offense, Gunnar Helm. What's better than if Quinn isn't the Quinn that we know, even if he is, man, Gunnar Helm's just been like his number one target. Isaiah Bond, probably still a little banged up with his ankle. I think he re-injured it against Georgia. Um, that that's just his go-to. He'll probably get 8 targets, 100 yards, and a touchdown, something like that, because he's great at being that, like, oh, I'm just a safety blanket. Here you go, a little leak out pass. So, offense, I think Gunnar Helm leads the team in receiving and just does his thing as he's been doing a bunch of this year, especially when Quinn's at the helm. Defense, I was kind of going back and forth on Gilbo or LaFou. I'm sorry, LaFau. um, and I want to say both of them because Gilbo, I think, plays the star position, right? So he's going to be close to the line of scrimmage, and he'll probably be able to help a lot, whether it be cover, maybe he covers Stovers or Stowers, the
Throwers.
Stowers, yeah, the tight end for Vandy, or maybe he helps a lot in the run game. But I'm calling way out of left field. I think we're gonna hear Gilbo's name a good amount, or it could be LaFau if he's helping with the run fit. Obviously Ant Hill's there as well, but LaFau's really good at playing the run. So I got those two guys as my defensive side of the ball.
Okay. I got Anthony Hill. He'll be a leading tackler again. And then maybe a bounce back game for Javon Blue. I think Brett, you mentioned Quintrevion Wisner might be hurt this game.
Yeah.
I
He's
don't know about
probable. He's probable on the injury
yeah.
report.
That seems to be how it goes. That the running back on the injury report kind of gets the short end of the carries. So maybe bounce back game for Blue, leading the backfield and obviously catching passes. He does a pretty decent job there.
Just needs to
Um,
hold on to the ball.
exactly. So um, bold take and prediction time. Um, my bold takes are Pavia rushes for 100 yards, um, and Wingo has 100 yards receiving for Texas. And at some point, Vanderbilt throws trash, water bottles, beer on the field.
That's
Maybe,
amazing.
maybe the end of the game at some point, while it's televised, I say we see it happening. My prediction, Vanderbilt covers, Texas wins. It's the under 31-17. Texas, again, should be better than this team in every position, every phase of the game. It comes down to turnovers and third down. We can get them off the field on third down. If we can extend our drives on third down, I think everything else takes care of itself. So far this year, Diego's, I don't know, maybe this is a bold take too. Played better than Quinn. And Quinn was the guy that was first potential first round draft pick. And no one other than UNLV fans maybe knew who Diego Pavia was from a season ago. So
Nope.
that's my bold take. Who volunteers to go next? I'm tired of picking on you guys.
Go ahead, Brett.
All right. My bold take for this week is first and foremost, the bold take is zero turnovers on offense. All right. I don't know if we've had a turnover free game in a while. Have we had one this year? Feel like if Jaden Blue and Quintravion Wisner are not fumbling, we're throwing interceptions or something. So I'm going to say the offense has zero turnovers this week on the rebound, and Quinn's going to throw for 300 yards plus. I think if Quinn throws for 300 yards plus, everybody gets off his back and everyone starts to feel good about him again, right? Especially with the limited time of possession that we could potentially have in this game. As for my score prediction, so if you go back, just, I like to look at Alabama as kind of the team to mirror this Texas team off of just because Sarkisian is a disciple of the great Nick Saban and everything. But what did Nick Saban's Alabama's teams do every single time they lost a game, the next game? Felt like they would just go out and rush somebody, right? And that's really what good teams are. They play with a chip on their shoulder. That's why Georgia played so good. That's why Kirby Smart says Georgia played so well last week, is they played a chip on their shoulder because nobody at ESPN or any of the media thought Georgia could do it or they were any good. Um, I mean, everyone knew Georgia was very good. So I don't know really what he was talking about. But regardless, he was able to get a chip on his team's shoulder. Like I said, Alabama's always done this. The great teams do this. They have bounce back games. They use this as a cleanup game to fix what went wrong and to make sure that the rest of the country knows that they're still a force to be reckoned with. And that is what I expect out of this Texas team. This is a good Texas team. This is the best Texas team we've had in 15 years. You know, the defense is outstanding. The offense can be outstanding. It's time to go knock the rust off, put those lessons learned from all week, and put it in the bag on Saturday night. 45-13 Horns.
Boom. That's the kind of positivity I need to hear. I already feel better. All right. Not going to change my prediction, but I need to hear that, right? No, I think my brain is just, we're wired to like pay attention to negative and like anxiety things more. And I
Yep.
think that's what my brain
Misery
is
loves
just holding
company,
on
Justin.
to. Exactly. Come on, guys, join me, right? Um, all right, my bold take. I'm gonna go. I think we have less than four penalties, which, believe it or not, is a bold take for Texas this year. All right, they've been horrible at home, especially with offensive penalties for some weird reason. But it's like when they're on the road, they play like, hey, it's us versus everybody, and they play better. They play sharper. They're just more on top of their game. So I'm hoping for less than four penalties, which means 3-0, or excuse me, between 0 and 3. I got Auburn hitting 3 field goals. That's right. He's hitting more field goals in this game than he's hit the entire season. Okay. And then I've got um, Arch, unfortunately, outplaying Quinn. Now, that is a very bold take. I understand, but that's where my mind is right now. I think Arch is going to get called in, and I think he's going to outplay Quinn, and we'll have a full-blown quarterback controversy. So
Yes.
get ready for it. So with Auburn hitting his 3 field goals, I'll have Texas winning 30-10. I think they look better doing it. Like I said, I'm trying to be positive here, guys. I think that last touchdown for Vandy probably comes like later in the fourth quarter while the game's already out of hand. But I got Texas winning 30-10. It may not look pretty, but that's my prediction as of now.
All right.
Ben, are you frozen?
I've been frozen for the last minute.
Oh,
Well, Here you are talking away. Can you guys hear me still?
Yeah,
We
we
can
can
hear
hear
you
you.
fine.
Unbelievable.
Well, Ben,
Uh,
go ahead and close this out, Frozen Face.
yeah.
You look
You
so
know,
like you're just judging me. I was really concerned.
listen, I am judging you. All right.
Uh, go ahead.
Listen, Texas wins. Hook 'em horns. Unfiltered, a little biased, 100% truthful, and technically unsavvy. Coming to you live, and we don't care. This is who we are. Texas is winning this game. We'll see water balls on the field at some point.
I'll be there to see it in person.
I love it. I
Yeah,
love
and
it.
here I am talking to myself.
Hook 'em.